Ooh, what should we call this one? The Toner Bandit is spiritually fucked?
Wrong and wrong makes right.
Oh.
I wrote that down a long time ago. And then we ended up just hanging out, and I had like 1 or 2 drinks, and then my mom.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it wasn't too crazy, but it wasn't like I felt 100% worse.
Yeah,
that day when I had to go into work the next day.
Wait, what day was that?
That was like a Sunday. I think it was Sunday.
What were we doing?
We went to Black Plague and then ended up at your house afterwards, and then got Joy, which was
Oh, that is right. I forgot. Yeah. That was.
Yeah. That was wild. I'll never forget or live that down. I feel like there are moms out there who can relate.
Yeah.
But they probably shouldn't. It's not anything you want to flex on and like put yourself out there about. But moms out there can relate.
When some of your best partying days are in your late 30s.
Yeah.
With kids everywhere.
Just like, but thank God they're just like in their own worlds, not in a space where they like understand.
Noticed at all. So after Thanksgiving, I put on my Hanson shirt and put on Christmas Vacation, and I did a Christmas Vacation puzzle.
Oh,
and it was amazing.
Oh, that's incredible.
Jade.
Did you guys bust
was
it out?
Horizontal. No, did not help me at all.
Ugh.
She was horizontal the whole time on her phone because I think we were so tired because we did the turkey trot, and then
it's a long day.
And
there was one time I did the turkey trot, but it was a 10K.
Ew.
I know. I don't even know if they do it anymore.
They do, but
bad idea. They did it. We did a turkey trot, and it was a 10K, and then I ended up going to. I think we went to my in-laws that year, and I just had like the worst headache all day.
Yeah, because 10K is too much. We walk the 5K.
Yeah, and doable.
Yeah.
And it's so nice.
Oh, you give the kids their scooters?
And it's fresh. And it's, Yeah. How was it?
It was fun.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it was super fun.
Yeah. I FOMO. But, when I was like still laying in bed thinking, oh, you guys are just finishing up your trot. I was like, yeah, good decision to stay home this year, at least.
I mean, I would have. You give me any reason to.
I was really proud of you for rallying, though, because Jade told me she was one of 9 that one, or however many, one of 7 that wanted to go.
Do it. Yeah, every year the night before, we're like,
oh, why?
But honestly, that morning I was fine.
Yeah, and you're just so happy that you create memories.
I was a
like
little
that.
bit worried because we had so many espresso martinis that I was like, oh, I was just gonna be.
You're like, how am I gonna sleep?
Well, I thought I'd feel heavy and gross the next morning, or like my stomach would hurt.
Yeah.
But it didn't.
No, yeah. I think we were good. I think honestly.
No one was drunk. Everyone was like chilling.
Yeah.
So since the last episode, all of a few minutes ago, I did some research.
Oh, so do tell.
And Kate Felt's sister is named Guru Amrit Kaur. And she's still active. She was named in the lawsuit that Kate Felt filed, along with 3HO and BBG. She did also sue BBG for her complicity. But yeah, she is still an active, she is like a director, I think, high up in.
Well, yeah, because she made the ultimate sacrifice, which was her sister.
Yeah. Pretty gross.
That's disgust.
Yeah.
I'm like trying to find her. I looked up, by the way, Pam Dawson.
Yeah.
Or Dyson.
Yeah. She's so cute. She is cute. So, but also,
she aged really gracefully. Like
she did.
Looks beautiful.
And there's this program on Vice TV called True Believers, and they did an episode on 3HO. And one of the women who came forward was talking about the sexual assault she experienced at the hands of Bhajan, said that she's grateful for Pamela Dyson's book and for all this stuff to come out, but she's still the one who created the infrastructure that allowed him to run rampant. So she's like, it's kind of like this double-edged sword where it feels you don't want to celebrate her because she's helped to cause so much pain and kept it quiet, but it also kind of create this environment. I mean, it's only after a lot of the stuff had kind of been going on. Well, and a lot of this stuff had been going on, but pre like Me Too movement, like it didn't really have much traction because I guess no one really cared.
That's fucking
Which is weird.
Yeah,
I don't know why anyone cared didn't care before,
but all of a sudden cares now.
Yeah. So, okay, I guess we can just get into it.
She probably needed him to die or be close to death to find the strength.
And and probably like distance and learning and discovering that what he was doing was not right.
Was absolutely disgusting.
Mm-hmm. So a little recap, because for us it's been a few minutes, but for the listeners it's going to be about a week.
A week. Yeah.
A week. Well, unless you're binging, which it's also a few seconds.
So 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. So Kundalini yoga, or Kundalini,
Kundalini. Okay, we had a major chat about this between sessions, and I think we have to do it right. It has to be Kundalini.
Yeah, but I don't feel like it's authentic for me to say it, even though it is the authentic way to say it.
Because it makes you seem like you're a poser?
I don't know.
Like trying
weird.
To be too official?
Well, I feel like in this sense, saying Kundalini is fine because it's not actually the representation of what it was supposed to be.
Okay.
It is a bastardized version of...
Oh, it's so awful.
I know.
Kundalini.
Kundalini.
I'm just we're gonna say it a bunch of times, and then it's gonna feel
Kundalini
right.
yoga is a practice characterized by intense breath work, repetitive poses, and oftentimes alternative lifestyle choices such as wearing white, eating mostly vegetarian. It's hailed as being, quote, an ancient technology. But in reality, it's mostly made up by one creepy ass dude named Harbhajan Singh Khalsa, aka Yogi Bhajan, in like the late 60s. He was a former customs agent who immigrated from India to the United States, where he would die rich and beloved in 2004. Despite years of committing sexual, emotional, financial, and spiritual abuse, he was highly revered. He'd taken Sikhism, Hinduism, and Buddhism and wrapped it all into this like New Age zodiac vibe and turned it into a multi-million-dollar empire that included private security firm, one that is contracted to do work for ICE, as well as admittedly my favorite tea brand, Yogi Tea. That throat comfort.
Yeah.
It's so good. So that is kind of where we are coming from. Oh yeah, did I also mention that he was like really into like astrology?
No, you didn't.
Well, there was a lot to cover in the last episode, but he was really into astrology and he was really into the age of Aquarius. You know, like the song.
Yeah. All I can see is like people dancing and prancing.
When I see it, and I think maybe this is why I didn't include it, is because every time I'd see it, you can't just say Age of Aquarius. You have to be like,
song.
Age of Aquarius.
Yeah.
So he was like very in, which, you know, the counterculture was really into at the time. So it kind of like brought that in. But also it's one of those things where no one knows what the fuck you're talking about. So it's really easy to manipulate people with.
Because he literally manipulated people with bold-faced lies and just, again, an amalgamation of he was like picking and choosing from detail, like from here and there and creating his own thing, but telling them that it was real. And
yeah. So today's episode is going to be about a woman named Katie Griggs.
Katie Griggs,
born in Fort Collins, Colorado in 1979. She was raised by a single mother who claims that Katie always had a flair for the dramatic. She had dreams of being an actor.
I hate that.
What? That she had a flair for the dramatic?
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
I also had a flair for the dramatic.
Oh.
Not same. No. I hate that. I'm just saying same. I also had a flair for the dramatic as a child.
I guess I took it as like
it's like condescending, like
just, like she's just like take it with a grain of salt, flair for the dramatic.
I mean, yeah, that too, but that's probably how most of the adults in my life regarded me.
They were just talking shit about you to your face and you didn't.
She'd always had dreams of being an actor, a singer, a poet, or basically anyone who could just like command a stage. I think that she just loved the limelight and was like, I'm going to find a way to like be the center of attention. She also was very spiritual. She said her mom said that there was this like her mom also was kind of like a seeker of alternative like vibes.
Okay.
And she said that there was like one time where she made everyone meditate into a candle. And like by the time she was in high school, she had already been exposed to like Reiki and yoga and like all of those kind of.
That is cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
So she was interested in spirituality.
Oh my God, maybe you introduce your kids to that shit young, the right way, so that when they get old, they can't be open up to predators. And
that's not where this is going, though.
Okay, but
and she was exposed when she was younger.
God damn it.
I know. So she was raised with spirituality. However, she bought into the teachings of Osho.
Oh no.
Oh no, she did.
Oh no, she did. Osho.
No, she didn't.
Oh my God. Full circle moment.
Full circle. So first red flag, bought into Bhagwan. She had a very vigorous Ashtanga practice, apparently practicing up to 6 days a week, which there's nothing wrong with having a vigorous yoga practice at all.
Do what your heart is telling.
The reason why I included it was just to kind of like illustrate the like dedication she has.
Yeah.
This girl is going full out on the things that she's passionate about.
Certainly.
She was introduced to Kundalini or Kundalini.
Nope, I liked it the first time.
By a friend and claimed, quote, within the first 30 seconds, I had a major energy surge go up my spine and blast out the top of my head. It was literally instantaneous. Now that I look back on it, it was the moment I experienced what Kundalini truly means. People do this shit for decades.
Mm-hmm.
And
she got on the
like
first
30 seconds.
Yeah, she got on the first at bat.
So, okay.
Yeah, okay. Wink, wink.
Yeah, okay. But anyway, so she had this experience and she was hooked. She probably felt that high, and maybe that's what she felt was like that yoga high that you get doing Kundalini. The breathing,
right?
Like all this stuff makes you just feel, it makes you feel good. Like you're exhausted, but good.
Right. Runner's high.
Yeah. So she, in 2003, she decided to go to summer solstice in Espanola, New Mexico, where Yogi Bhajan had his big ranch. And she was like, she had found her people. She participated in the 3-day white tantric meditation and claimed that Yogi Bhajan told her to go to LA to teach at Yoga West, that Jess was doing a ton of research.
Oh my God.
And was like,
on
accident found Yoga West. But so he was like, go teach at Yoga West.
Which is on Robertson Boulevard on a very popular street in LA.
Yeah, she knows the cross street. She looked it up on a map already.
Yeah, I was like, that's where all the monies are.
Yeah.
And they just had like their flagship store. Like, boop.
Yep, boop.
Crazy.
Booped right there. So she says that he also gives her the name Guru Jagat, which in Sanskrit translates to bringer of light to the universe.
Much nicer than mistress.
Better than Premka, correct.
Yeah.
Better than Premka, a.k.a. mistress in Punjabi. Supposedly. I don't know.
We don't know that.
Don't quote me on that.
Guru, what is it?
Guru Jagat. Do you need me to spell it?
I just wrote it down and do you want me to tell you what I wrote?
Yeah.
No, this is embarrassing. I went simple this time because, I do.
Yeah.
Just Guru, Jaga.
G-A-G-A-T.
T.
Jagat.
Oh, see?
Jagat. So this name is actually kind of disputed by her mom in Vanity Fair. Her mom said she'd been looking for a new name for a while. She said, quote, I remember way before all of this, she called me up and said, I need you to call me by another name. She tried out Athena Day, then Katie Day, then Kundalini Katie, which is what I think she went by for a very, very long time. And not Kundalini Katie.
Just Kundalini.
Kundalini Katie.
All right.
Also, it's worth noting that 3ho.org has a service in which you pay $40 and you can get a spiritual name.
Oh, wow. It's like that one. name generator where it's like
Yeah.
a Wu-Tang Clan name generator.
Yeah. Or it's like those things on Instagram where you get like your like
my
weird
God.
gothic name when it's like your birth date or whatever. Anyway, so
I would never pay money because I don't want to like pay to that. But I'm so curious what our names would be. And what do they go off of? Nothing. The wit.
I'm not sure. Scamfluencers, one of the girls that hosts that podcast, she had tried to get a name and they never got back to her. They just took her money and never gave.
Sounds right. That sounds right.
She also was going by Kundalini Katie for almost a decade and didn't start by going by Guru Jagat until 2013 after her studio had already opened. So she moves to LA, embraces this Kundalini Katie vibe, and she trades in her like Lulus. She starts wearing white flowy dresses, the turban, and is just inspired by this like new teaching, and she starts to build a community around herself. She completes her yoga teacher training at Yoga West and then begins teaching there and amasses this huge following. And she said that she never subbed out her classes. She showed up 5 days a week, she kept up a personal practice and was just super consistent.
Wow. I mean, it's a big part of it all, right?
Yeah, it's a big part of it because the other thing, this is a little bit of a tidbit information. When you sub out your classes, when you come back, your class is never as full as when you left. Because people are like, what if she subbed out? Like, it just makes it, the more inconsistent it is, the more likely students are to miss your class.
Right.
So she never subbed out.
That's why I feel like Kate's Monday, or she doesn't do Monday anymore, but Wednesday, Friday classes are
she's always there. It's consistent. People rely on them.
Yeah.
So for almost a decade, she teaches here. She has a steady private clientele, booming classes, and then she starts doing this Kundalini speakeasy out of like her guest house where people are doing, it sounds really cool.
Yeah. Okay. I don't want to sound like that.
No, it sounds
cool.
really, really cool. But she's like got tons of people packed into probably like a space as big as
like this.
And like
a metal box.
Yeah. People are like, they're doing breathing exercises like up against like refrigerators and shit.
Uh-huh.
So
up against a metal box inside a metal box.
So Griggs claims that the long dead Bhajan, because this is like what, in 2012, 2013.
Long dead. He's been dead for not even a decade, but okay.
Well, I mean, a decade is like, he's what, 2004, so 9 years. So he's been dead for 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
She says that he came to her in a vision and told her to open a studio and dedicate it to a man named Hari Jivan. Hari Jivan, a.k.a. Stephen Hartzell or Stephen Oxenhandler or the Toner Bandit.
What? The Toner Bandit? I can't even with that. The Toner Bandit.
So
I think of like
he is
stealing all the toner in the office supply cabinet.
So the Toner Bandit is a dude who went to jail he was running this like telemarketing scheme where he would like charge businesses for toner and then he just like wouldn't deliver it. And so he earned the moniker, the Toner Bandit, in the media. And yeah, he ended up going to jail for like 2 years.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
On toner.
At the time, Bhajan was totally aware of it and encouraged it and somehow just escaped prosecution.
Yeah, just keep placing them more, or, you know.
Yeah. And apparently he also, Bhajan said like it was okay to do stuff like that, like telemarketing schemes, because karma doesn't transfer on the phone.
He's also going to clear it out with his penis.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
There's that.
So he's, he's
he's got a
real
lot
good up on that knowledge about how to clear that karma.
Yeah.
So apparently the Toner Bandit had wanted to start a new studio and was looking for a young, charismatic woman to be the face of the new studio because not only was he an old white guy, which is like not very exciting, he was also a felon. Yeah. So getting money and getting funding for a studio. And
nobody suspects the young, small white woman to be a bad guy.
Well, and she was just like this.
She's like
really
a good face.
Big personality. She's like rapping online and like listening to hip hop and like had this like vibe about her that was just really cool. I mean, she does have a really cool vibe. She also has this very confident way of speaking that like you can see how when she talks,
how people get drawn in
because it feels real.
Yeah.
So so apparently she gets this vision, but really there's kind of all this other kind of stuff at play. But it's kind of also very mutually beneficial because not only is he getting to open his studio, but she's getting all of Hari Jivan's followers. And he was high up in 3HO. So Griggs secures a $20,000 investment from her mom and opens the Ra Institute. Ra meaning sun, Ma meaning moon.
Okay.
And so she opened a studio on Lincoln Boulevard, just east of Rose Avenue in Venice. And it's situated on the...
What a perfect place, by the way, Venice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And apparently this place is situated on the 33rd parallel. This is a power vortex, according to some mystical traditions, and also has like weird meaning in conspiracy theorist rhetoric.
Wow.
I don't know. She just got very lucky on this 33rd. It reminds me of in like the Ghostbusters with...
Where they had to find like that...
The ley lines? Yeah, the ley lines. Not in the Ghostbusters...
The newer.
The Melissa McCarthy
Yeah. Where they had to find like
the ley
exactly
lines.
where everything lined up, and that's going to be the epicenter.
So I think that the 33rd parallel is considered a ley line. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe it was haunted. Who knows? So she renovated an old massage parlor. She renovated, and she had that amethyst crystal dust sprinkled underneath the floorboards for protection, which I thought was crazy, but I was kind of like, oh, kind of cool.
Okay, yeah.
That was kind of cool. I mean, if you have the resources, fine. And then the whole renovation was based on tantric numerology. So like it was very intentional, which cool.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. No, I feel like all those little things, like attention to detail.
Yeah. So the opening of Rama
makes it feel special.
Coincides with the fall of a popular nearby Kundalini studio called Golden Bridge Yoga. It had recently been in the news because Tej Kar Khalsa, a popular teacher there who was a direct student of Yogi Bhajan and coincidentally the first wife of the Toner Bandit, had told her most devout student, Russell Brand.
What?
Yeah, Russell Brand.
Not the Russell Brand.
Yes, the Russell Brand, the Saving Sarah Marshall, or Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Russell Brand, had told him that they wouldn't let her out of her contract. So Brand went up to the front of class and staged a walkout. Apparently Demi Moore was there too. And so it had been in the news. And so Griggs then goes and hires Tej, which was super, like a great move because then she gets Brand, she gets Demi Moore, Kate Hudson, Alicia Keys. They all start going to the studio, which helps. So the studio just blows up.
This is crazy because I could see why that would happen. Like, this is really, like, I hate that. Like, it takes like celebrities being involved to like really peak.
Yeah.
But it just turns it up.
And not saying that Russell Brand is, because he's yuck. But
yeah, no, he's super yuck.
He's super yuck. But like, it was in the news because of this. And so it helps her personal brand. So her vibe was like this spiritual, like girl boss, entrepreneur. And it was like super working for her because this is like still 2013? Before everyone was like, fuck girl bossing. So she donned the all-white garb. She had the turban, but also would just like let some of her hair like hang out.
Okay.
She had a ton of like blingy jewelry and had this kind of like gangster vibe to her. She was always giving talks on business and charged $500 for an online Rama business course. However, from the beginning, the money wasn't quite adding up. She routinely couldn't afford to pay the $10,000 rent at the Venice Beach studio or her vendors. And despite making a ton of money and paying her staff, even those with director titles, only minimum wage.
Where is all this money going then? I mean, okay.
Well, apparently, this is like neither here nor there. And they mention it in Scamfluencers. And apparently she had like she did Postmates like 5 times a day.
Do what you gotta do, girl.
And in Scamfluencers.
I like her vibe though.
I know, her vibe is cool.
Yeah.
But in Scamfluencers, they were like, could you even imagine? Maybe it's just the brown in us that's like, even just hearing Postmates 5 times a day, I feel like I have to apologize to my mom. They're just like, no.
Yeah.
That's some crazy. I mean, that's obviously not where all the money went, but Postmates 5 times a day is crazy.
Okay. when you first said it, I thought she was driving for them. I don't know why my brain took it there. I don't know why my
No, she was ordering.
there.
That's beyond your normal meals.
Yeah.
She's Postmating snacks
5 times a day. She's Postmate trail mix.
I mean, you have minimum wage employees under you. Have
Yeah,
them
why
go
are you
across the street, get
Postmating?
you a smoothie.
You can you have, I'm sure, several assistants or
Yeah.
at least one.
So she opened up studios. So there's all this, right? Her money's not adding up. Then she opened up studios in Colorado and New York, just like Gamakio. Those tend to be like the hubs. And was planning a new location in Majorca. In 2016, her partners at the Boulder studio sued her for breach of contract. In the lawsuit, they claimed they invested $20,000 in exchange for 40% of the earnings. In the first few months, rather than send the proceeds to her investors,
Right.
she was caught wiring the money into her personal business account and then using the Rama Boulder credit card to pay off debts at the Venice studio.
Oh my God. So she's like, essentially, she's kiting money around.
Yeah.
Like, that's wild.
They ended up settling out of court, and then the studio rebranded and like removed all of the Rama branding. At the same time, in Majorca, Griggs was partnering with a woman named Philippa Hughes to open a studio there. Hughes worked for 10 months without pay. She hosted Griggs in her home, and when she stayed there, Griggs insisted that she was going to stay in her bed, and then Hughes and her 3-year-old son had to stay on the couch.
What the fuck?
Hughes was like,
No.
that's where I draw the line.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You're a guest in my home. You're not calling any of the shots, let alone making my child sleep on the floor. It's not happening.
So the next day, she was accosted by Kundalini students, berating her for not listening to the demands of her teacher. She said, quote, "They went apeshit on me. They literally rounded me up and they were attacking me like, she's your teacher. How dare you not serve?"
Oh my God.
I know.
Like, in
Yoga
world?
student.
Yeah. And
Yoga student.
already this like quick
yoga
this
practitioners.
quick, yeah.
Yeah.
This quick like into the world of like what she hasn't even created, well, she's, created a following certainly, but
Yeah.
like she hasn't mind fucked everybody just yet. I mean, it's coming.
Well, I mean, I think she's in the process
She's
of
in the process of
mind-fucking
mind
everybody.
fucking.
But so despite this, plans for the studio go on. And when the studio does open up, they have this opening ceremony, and Griggs was giving thanks to everyone who made the studio happen for making it possible. And, Philippa Hughes, she's like, oh, she's going to obviously say thank you to me because this was my money, my hard work, my location.
home.
I've done this. However, Hari Jivan shows up and all the thanks goes to him. Then Philippa Hughes receives a $2,000 bill for his appearance. And so she calls Rama Boulder and she's like, yo, is this normal? And they were like, it's normal for her, but it's not normal. And the way that things go.
Yeah.
And so they told her about the lawsuit and what had been going on. And so she completely broke ties with Griggs and rebranded. And then Katie just goes on and opens a studio down the street in Majorca.
So she doesn't even get like her. She doesn't get to.
She doesn't get her money back.
She doesn't get the money back.
No.
She doesn't get any like.
Mm-mm.
Oh my God! Did she end up literally living with her though?
No, she would just
after the whole like being accosted by all the fallout. Like
I don't think so. I think that she went and got somewhere else to stay because I think she was like, I can't sleep on this couch. So Griggs continues to girl boss her way through life. She starts a record label called Rama Records, a YouTube channel called Rama TV, and a podcast called, what do you think it's called?
Rama Pod?
Reality Riffing.
What? I would have never guessed that. Wait, why did you set me up that way?
Because you think
reality riffing.
You think that would just be a natural.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is reality riffing?
No, I don't
Why
know.
Why is that a good podcast?
And when I think riffing, I think
guitar riffs.
Well, yeah, or I think excuse me. Not like
yeah. No, I don't understand it.
That's
but
the
whatever.
ultimate setup. Rama this, Rama that.
this.
Could you just guess what the next thing? I'm all Rama pod. No. Reality riffing.
Reality riffing. So she also publishes a book called Invincible Living, not Rama book.
Not Rama book.
Not Rama book.
Rama living.
During this time, she's honestly just like pushing what she's been taught, which is cult tactics, and she might not really know any better. I would think that a smart person would, but I don't think she does. So she starts promoting insane diets. There is the Master Mono diet, which is a diet of only watermelon.
Here we are with the watermelon again.
So the purpose is to decalcify the pineal gland and deplaque the brain. Which, if you heard that, you might think, oh, this person might have like authority because you're saying body function things, but that's not a thing.
Yeah, no. Deplaquing the brain.
Deplaquing the brain.
This is the thing. I feel like when people are not, when smart people are falling for dumb shit, it's because they choose to. It's because they're choosing to turn a cheek. It's because they're choosing to not do their due diligence. Like their brain went, and instead of looking further into it, they chose to be like, nah, I kind of like the way things are going. I'm going to keep going like this.
Well, yeah, and we saw in the last episode, there was a point where Bhajan had everyone on a watermelon diet.
Exactly. I'm like, well, the watermelon diet, here we are again.
It doesn't do anything for your brain other than make it weak and susceptible to suggestion. Yeah. There was also a pea fruit diet in which you can only eat fruits with the letter P.
Oh.
This is to reset the metabolic and glandular system. We did talk about that.
Yes, because I was like, what fruit starts with P? And it was embarrassing, but
yeah, because we couldn't think of anything.
Papaya.
That's pineapple.
And
pears. Oh, there we go.
And that's all we are, though. Because in that day, though, I was like, banana.
Banana.
I literally couldn't think of anything.
Papples. So there is no research that suggests that a calorie-restrictive diet can do any of these things. In fact, they are more likely to lead to eating disorders and cause more harm to the brain and metabolic systems if one partakes in such an extreme diet. So
don't do it.
So don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. If someone tells you to do a cleanse or that's not a real thing. If you're restricting your diet,
don't be silly. Give your body what it needs.
It's setting you up for failure.
Yeah, give your body what it needs.
You also start to see these little Easter eggs of conspiratorial thinking, but the way she presents it, it's so confident and it's surrounded by this new age speak that you could easily feel like it makes sense. So she often talks about the Aquarian age, like Bhajan. Age of Aquarius. She also used words like consciousness and higher vibrational energy and has very coded languaging that's kind of vague but broad.
That sounds
in the broad
good.
sense, but has this deeper meaning in the world of Kundalini. I don't know. It's just the way that she talks. It's kind of open for interpretation of how intense it could be.
Mm-hmm.
But in 2019, she was kind of starting to buy into all of her own bullshit and started insisting that even her parents refer to her as Guru Jagat.
Oh, my God.
That year, she was also invited to speak on a panel at the Harvard Divinity School. She had claimed previously, quote, "I'm not a Sikh, and Kundalini technology is not Sikhism. My teacher is Sikh," referring to the Toner Bandit. And when asked about
so good.
When asked about the whitewashing of Sikhi, she said, quote, "We now live in a world where if you have a certain body or you're from a Western culture, you can't answer the call of your soul if you want to convert or practice a certain religion," unquote, which is a really gross response.
Yeah. No.
You can answer the call to your soul, whatever that means, and not be culturally appropriative.
Yeah. And
I would argue, in fact, that you would be a higher vibrational consciousness if you were to notice those appropriations and choose not to partake.
Yeah. Like the non-namaste.
Yeah. Because yuck. You can't just be like, oh, you're saying I can't practice this because of the way I look.
Because of the way I look. I mean, honestly,
when
I feel like
thousands of people have been persecuted for the way that they look and the way that they practice in their religions.
Yeah.
And Sundeep Morrison, who is a non-binary queer Punjab Sikh activist, and filmmaker, saw these talks and called for a Rama boycott. They told Vanity Fair, quote, "For someone like me in a brown body who grew up in the Sikh faith, hearing our mantras, our prayers marketed as millionaire's mantra or snake oil scheme is traumatizing." Apparently, at an intersectional feminism panel at Harvard, Griggs ended up white-splaining the Sikh faith to mostly brown and black women.
Oh my God.
Which
I'm
is
sure that went over really well.
So cringe.
Yeah.
And I fully...
The nerve of Griggs. Like, she has no problem.
No. And I fully understand how meaningful, like, a turban can be to someone who practices Kundalini, or even, you know, as a white or white presenting person who practices Sikhi. I don't know. However, it doesn't like absolve them from recognizing, I think, and understanding the kind of like nuanced complications that come with being.
It's kind of a weird place. It's a weird spot.
It's a weird spot, but also there's a privilege that comes with being white or white presenting wearing a turban than a brown or black person wearing a turban.
My girlfriend's sister completely converted to Muslim, and she wears that. She wears her hijab because it's her religion.
Yeah.
But she is pasty white. Yeah. And so I'm sure people like look at her and they're like, huh, like trying to figure it out. Like, it's a weird spot.
Yeah, it's a weird spot to be in. But I think that a brown person wearing a turban is often in a lot more danger than a white person wearing one. And that's not to say that violence against white or white presenting people who wear turbans doesn't happen.
Right.
But the reality is that the experience of wearing one in a brown body is different.
Is much different. One. Yeah.
The Sikh Coalition documented more than 300 cases of violence in the months following 9/11. Most of the Sikhs that were attacked were mistaken as Muslim. Still not right. But Morrison also notes that, quote, "It is a tenet of white supremacy and colonialism to appropriate and consume culture while fully ignoring the well-being and safety of the people, with colonialism to appropriate and consume culture while fully ignoring the well-being and safety of the people with whom it originated." And I think that we see that a lot within yoga culture in general.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's something that if you were speaking about intersectional feminism, you'd like educate yourself on. Just like maybe
throwing it out there.
Especially because like intersectional feminism at its core aims to lift the voices of those experiencing oppression, not just as women, but as a black or brown person or someone in the LGBTQIA plus community or people with disabilities, so that white women's issues aren't at the center and don't overshadow. And don't represent the whole of feminist issues. And so for her to come as a white woman in a turban and like I don't know. I feel like it's like so gross to me.
Yeah. No, it absolutely is. It's like taking on the hardships of other people who have.
And then like complaining like, oh, just because I'm white, I don't get to wear this turban, or I don't get to do this, or I don't get to do that. Like, bitch, you get to do a lot.
Yeah, you've gotten to do a lot.
You've gotten to do a lot safely because of how you are, like, because you are a white woman.
Right. It's
I'm like, my eyes twitching again.
Yeah, it is.
My eyes twitching.
It is twitching. It's certainly not. I'm trying to figure out the way to say this because I don't want to say it wrong. It's certainly, I'm not giving her anything. It's certainly a weird spot to be in, but you don't get to take on what other people have gone through and make it yours kind of thing, or make it the same.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
Yeah, you're not being persecuted here.
Right.
Because people are like,
Right.
Why are you doing that?
Right.
It's culturally appropriative. You're not suffering because of your own appropriation.
Mm-hmm.
So around this time,
Okay.
she married a former student named Austin Dunbar. He was known in their circle as Teg Nom. He was 16 years younger than her, which is fine, but he was highly influential in her emergent outspokenness about more fringe theories. And also a little bit shady is I was reading one person's account of her experience with her, and they had done a yatra to Ireland. And
What's a yatra?
A yatra is like a retreat.
Okay.
Like they all go.
Like a yoga retreat?
And she said that she was just like dying of embarrassment because they were like going in all these sacred places that they weren't supposed to be going. And like it just felt very weird. And she's like, I don't know. They just kept kissing and groping. And then it turns out they ended up getting married and saying it was like like a spontaneous thing. But she had brought a whole ass wedding dress.
Yeah. So how spontaneous could it have been?
Just like funded their wedding.
Oh, God.
But
cool.
Yeah. It was
Austin Dunbar, and she met him because he was just like a student of his?
Yeah, I think
of hers?
I think that he is the brother of like someone high up in her crew. I think it's very incestuous. So he was known as Teg Nom.
Teg Nom.
Teg Nom. And so he was super fringe, and this is 2019. This is like,
oh my God, this was not long ago.
No. This is like super recent, but this is around Pizzagate. So
I forgot about Pizzagate.
So Griggs' stepfather recalled that she had yelled at him for watching CNN because they were part of the deep state and funded by George Soros and Pizzagate shit. And her mother, who was like, I raised her so liberally, was shocked. Like,
she's like, how is this my daughter?
Like,
how is my daughter doing this
person? Like,
yeah.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
So in 2020, when Pamela Dyson released her book, Premka, detailing the sexual abuse and control in her relationship with Yogi Bhajan, a lot of the Kundalini community had to reckon with the news of this kind of their spiritual guru failing them, basically, that he was like a fucked up
he was
creep.
being painted in this light because he was that light.
Yeah. It gave a lot of leaders an opportunity to address the allegations, look at their system, maybe acknowledge how this could have happened, change things.
I mean, it's a good opportunity if you take that.
Yeah, none of them took it.
Okay.
Griggs doubled down in support of Bhajan. She had posted this like weird documentary narrated by the Toner Bandit.
The Toner Bandit. Only Toner Bandit from here on out.
Toner Bandit. So she posted this like weird like narrated thing and then said, quote, "This tale is no truer than any other tale. The truth always lies in the eye of the beholder," which is like says nothing.
Yeah.
Really. But
such
also
a fucking ass backwards.
I don't know.
Situation.
She posted that she didn't believe the story. Then I don't know. She was just being crazy. Then she received this like insane amount of backlash because I think people were like, no, like,
wait, this sounds
not
like we can't just turn our cheek to this seemingly very legitimate experience.
And then all these other people were coming out, all the stories were coming out. And
where
so
there's
kind
smoke,
of
there's fire.
Forced her hand. So then she goes, well, I've never met Yogi Bhajan. So
now she's like,
don't lump me in with that.
My hands are clean. Like, I don't want to have anything to do. Like,
yeah, but remember when you said that he gave you your spiritual name and he also told you to come teach at Yoga West?
Yep.
Remember
all of a sudden.
Yeah, all of a sudden.
It's very convenient for her to now all of a sudden disassociate.
Yeah, and so she ends up telling Vanity Fair, quote, "Yogi Bhajan is a historic figure and he remains a historic figure. I'm not like spending my days trying to figure out whether George Washington was doing some things I wouldn't agree with in 2021.
Oh my God. That's a convenient statement for her to make. That's so stupid.
Yeah, also you're not like worshiping the ground George Washington walks on.
No, it's not the same.
Yeah. So the backlash didn't end there. It opened up the floodgates of criticism and people coming out about Guru Jagat's behavior.
Well, sorry. And I'm just curious what the Toner Bandit is like. Is he like financially gaining from I'm sure in one way or another, but because she's become the face of everything.
He financially gains from the studio doing well, but he still is firmly Yogi Bhajan, no wrong. These people are lying.
Yeah. Okay.
So the backlash doesn't die there. It opens up the floodgates of criticism. An anonymous Instagram account.
Oh, I love anonymous Instagram account
called @RamaWrong.
Wrong!
Which is run by Becky Lovell and Nicole Norton, began posting stories of how Griggs ran her business and the toxic and abusive environment that her employees were subject to. Norton called the studio a cult within a cult. RamaWrong painted a picture of a studio that was supposedly running at a higher vibration from a higher state of consciousness. However, employees were expected to completely give total devotion and were prone to verbal attacks despite holding job titles with director in them. They were making under minimum wage.
God, that's fucking crazy.
And that was when their paychecks didn't bounce. Apparently, some would just try to cash their checks and it would bounce.
You just had to get lucky.
Yeah.
Depending when Postmates hit, whether it hit before the paycheck came.
I know. How much Postmates is she ordering this month?
Yeah.
Maybe
they gotta hit the account. They gotta hit the bank before Postmates does.
And so this is actually kind of normal in yoga studios, especially back then. I think that the laws have changed and now you can't have independent contractors. But so everyone was 1099'd. So they're getting paid per class despite having other duties, and then they're not getting health insurance. They're not getting any kind of benefits at all. But that was like super common. It's not right, but it's kind of what was normal at the time, even though it does suck. It also seems that Griggs utilized work trade. That's when you volunteer time in exchange for a free membership.
Sure.
So I used to work, the studio I used to do work trade at, I would work 3 hours a week, which worked out to actually being, if you work out like the membership, it was like, like $120 or something. So when it worked out, I was getting paid in quotes, more than minimum wage.
Right.
For my time. Then that was including childcare too.
So it
was a really good deal for me.
Yeah, that was a solid deal for you.
That was a solid work trade. However, she hired whole ass accountants on work trade.
I don't understand how that would work because they're high paid employees.
So she apparently had hired work trade accountant and then made her read this book about Palladians, who are like lizard alien people who look Nordic, and then told her that her job was to go out and find a Palladian to interview for her podcast.
What? I'm not understanding where this took a hard left. And I was like, oh, nope, not at all.
That was one of the accounts of the work trade people.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Some people allege she was also verbally abusive. For example, in a company-wide group chat, she wrote, quote, "Fuck you all. I will wring your figurative necks if not every photo you've ever taken up until now isn't in the Dropbox." Apparently it was just for a promo flyer.
Oh my God. But she's like, fuck you all. I will wring your necks.
I would never
blanket fuck anybody.
No. I can't even imagine talking like
to anybody like
that. Nonetheless, employees.
Yes. And
several that are underpaid or volunteering their time.
And this is the thing. I joke around and I say, fuck you, fuck off, fuck a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
But not in like that setting where it's a blanket fuck.
No, you're not being serious.
No.
Yeah. She also allegedly attacked an assistant for getting to add sour cream to her burrito bowl from Whole Foods.
Sour cream does make the difference.
It does?
It's not right.
But like, just have someone run out and get more sour cream.
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
Hello.
But she said, the person that said this said, quote, "We were all in a meeting. She looked at us and said, 'Enough with this I'm mad at mommy BS. Don't take it out on me because you're mad that your mom used to fuck right in front of you.'"
What?
Yeah.
She's just gone off. She's unhinged. I mean, she was always unhinged, it sounds.
Yeah.
But especially now. Like, she's just going off the rail.
Yeah.
Who says that?
I don't know.
I don't say anything about mommy fucking anyone.
No, it sounds gross to say it.
I said mommy and fucking right next to each other. And I didn't like that.
No. Another time, she called out a student in the middle of the class who had been sick a lot. And she said it was because the student swallowed too much semen of her partner, who she knew had a genital condition. And all of these were recorded and in public classes.
That is so fucking nasty.
I know.
That is so awful.
That's humiliating.
It's humiliating. It's belittling. It's all sorts of things. And to know that that person had an issue and like a real issue.
Yeah.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
And poke at that? No.
Yeah.
That's disgust.
She also allegedly advised students against seeking professional psychiatric help.
Advised against it?
Against it.
Yeah.
That's kind of common space for, I feel like, cult leaders to do. They're
Well,
like,
yeah,
I don't
but
want
that's what I'm
anyone
saying. Red
legit
flag,
in
red
here.
flag.
Mhm.
Red flag. Like, don't get help.
Yeah.
Red
And
flag,
then
red
she
flag.
regularly warned students, especially near the holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas, that spending more than 72 hours with their families will call them to spiritually regress, which
I mean,
I get it.
Spending 5 hours.
I get it. However-
regress one way or another.
However, that is just more isolation tactics.
Yeah, no, it is. And it's a way for her to like maintain that power that she's having over these people.
So during COVID, she became increasingly radicalized and talking about unhinged shit like in her classes and on reality riffing. She posted that that Plandemic documentary or quote documentary. It's like that movie where they're like, COVID isn't real.
Oh God.
From back then.
Uh-huh.
So she like posted that in her group chat and was like, everyone has to watch this. Not contagious, not real. So, and then she started to hold maskless events at her Venice Beach studio despite
How did that
government
go?
regulations. She hosted a man named David Icke on her podcast, who is a well-known Holocaust denier, but also in his book.
I can't.
Also in his book, one of his books, he claims that the Jews funded the Holocaust.
Oh,
So it's like, I don't know. So
I mean, it's not going well.
I believe he also claimed to be like Jesus Christ. I think he like also claims to be the Messiah somewhere.
Probably. I believe that.
Yeah.
But
And then
he's claiming all sorts of shit.
And then Vanity Fair was like, why would you have this guy on your podcast? And she pulled the whole like, well, his views don't represent mine. But then she says, quote, David Icke, his popularity has grown massively. And part of the reason is because a lot of the things he's been saying for the past 20 years are coming true. No, they're not.
No. Says who? And what are these things? Prove. Support your statement, please.
Yeah.
No. It's
No.
just a cuckoo guy spreading cuckoo knowledge, fake knowledge.
Yeah. She also hosted someone named Carrie Cassidy who believes that The Matrix is a documentary. And
Red pill, blue pill, and all.
She also thought that COVID was activated by 5G.
Oh my god, a 5G.
At one point, I think this was around the time that like the Premka stuff came out. She has this video where she's like, oh my God, I can't. And I mean, I'm over here. I'm under attack by robots.
Oh my god.
She's not sure.
Real. I'm like,
She's losing it.
She had lost it, and now it's just at a rapid decline.
Yeah. She also regularly used
She's still alive.
QAnon's we'll see.
Oh shit.
QAnon's New World Order theory, which claims that the world's elite is comprised of reptilian shapeshifters who manipulate
Reptiles. With the reptiles again.
They manipulate and dominate the populace, and she apparently would regularly call politicians and celebrities reptilians and MK Ultra pawns, like brainwash people, like 11 and Stranger Things.
Oh, okay.
She was also anti-BLM.
Okay. She can just fuck right off.
I don't know how you can be
Anti-BLM. Anti-BLM. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Are you saying Black lives do not, in fact, matter? Is that what you're saying? Because that's fucking crazy.
I kind of think she does think that. Thought that. She also, at one point, said, quote, the reason why we're being told to stay at home is that is the reason why we're being told to stay at home is that we're actually in some kind of alien war?
Does she feel it come out of her mouth?
No, I don't think so. She also said, quote, we now have AI technology where they know how to control your mind.
She's losing her shit now.
The only protection against this AI is meditations with her.
Oh.
At $100 a pop.
Have no fear. You're protected as long as you pay her rent.
On August 1st, 2021, Griggs died of cardiac arrest caused by a pulmonary embolism following surgery on her left ankle.
Oh my God, that's a freak situation.
Yeah, she was 41.
That's very young.
Yeah. She had broken her ankle in Germany and called her mom, and she was like, Mom, I'm scared. And her mom was like, I just rest. But instead, she had all these commitments in LA. So she flew back to LA. And according to the American Society of Hematology, flights lasting 8 to 10 hours or longer pose a great risk for pulmonary embolism.
So even after I had my surgery, you had one too, C-section.
Yeah.
Even driving for long periods of time, just being like sedentary, is that the word?
Yeah.
For a long period of time is way bad for you. Throw in the air pressure of it all. And you were not supposed to fly after a surgery like that.
No, she didn't have surgery yet. She had surgery when she came back. But it was already too late.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Following the news of her death, her students couldn't believe that she would have died in such a common way. They believed it was a hoax. Some believe she spiritually ascended. Nicole Norton told Vanity Fair, quote, everything she's wanted is happening right now after she passes. The fame, the adoration, the sainthood, everything. At Rama, regular classes resumed almost immediately. Events in her honor took place, $100 an event, like per ticket. Camp Grace, this women's camp that she started to help to deterritorialize the patriarchy, still going on, but run by the Toner Bandit now. They sell prints with her image. They remix her songs. It just all keeps going. They're making money off of her. But like what she's done is completely help perpetuate this fucking terrible man's legacy.
Yeah.
And also has traumatized a whole new generation of people. There's one woman that says that even after I quit, I practiced every day because I was so afraid to stop because I was told that if I did, my progress would be erased.
It's literally she's practicing out of fear.
Yeah.
You should never be practicing out of fear.
No.
That's crazy.
And that is the story of Katie Griggs / Guru Jagat and the weird reptilian war that she believed.
I mean, I hate when people die in John.
I hate when people die, but honestly, so my thought is that because I felt kind of yuck about this because I was like, oh, she died. She doesn't necessarily have anything against her, but I do think that like she wasn't convicted of any crimes because she managed to settle out of court. However, I think that she would have been.
Yeah.
Had she not passed away so young.
I mean, it was just a matter of time.
Well, no, I think that a lot of the stuff that she was doing, I think that a lot of the stuff she was doing counted as crimes. But because she's gone, there's no one left to prosecute.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's crazy because I feel like she was kind of thrust into the system that like systemically kind of abuses people.
Yeah, but she did it willingly. I feel like with her mom, I'm surprised that growing up the way that she did, she was just like, yeah, okay, let me just jump right in. Like, wouldn't she call bullshit on things that were being fed to her that she knows, that she knew when she was younger? Like, this isn't all new to her.
Yeah.
It wasn't all new to her, but she was like, yeah, let me just jump on the bandwagon and
I think that
lead it, in fact.
I think that she is one of those people where she finds something that she's passionate about and she goes full in and she's going to hustle and make it work. And I think that the adoration and the money started to become toxic. And then on top of that, you add these toxic teachings.
Yeah.
And kind of like this bullshit. And you can like, because when you hold the seat of a teacher, I think that I don't know. I just feel like it's super unethical to be talking about.
You
weird
have
shit.
a responsibility.
You have a responsibility
to
hold
the seat
to
of a
teach
teacher.
things, and you kind of need to stay in your lane,
right?
Like this chick was not staying in her lane. She's talking about alien wars and 5G,
all sorts,
and just telling people to eat these like ridiculous
conspiracy.
Things.
It's. She was essentially spreading bullshit. She's like, honestly, what, like, and nothing is fact based for her. She just was like, this feels right, or what, or she chose to listen to bullshit. And again, when think smart people, do stupid shit, I think it's a choice, and I think it's them liking it, liking being bad, liking
the notoriety, liking the.
Whatever,
the
like they're choosing
closet.
their evil. Yeah, they're choosing their evil for one reason or another.
Mm-hmm.
Typically money and power. But yuck. It sucks. I feel like maybe one episode we need to do, I know this totally goes against spiritually fucked, but one episode we need to do where like somebody's good.
Oh, I have a few of those.
And maybe they get fucked. But, like, I don't want, like, obviously I don't want that either. But
yeah,
I just feel like the yoga world there's a lot of good in yoga, obviously. Mm-hmm. That's the reason why people do it. But there's a lot of bad. And I want to maybe point to more good for just one episode.
Yeah.
Because I want people to remember why they do yoga. You know?
Yeah. Well, I think that yoga I feel like one of the reasons why I wanted to keep doing things like this is because I think that it's so easy because we're all looking for something, right? We're looking to feel better.
Right.
And we're looking a lot of times to find that feeling that there's something that's bigger than ourselves. And I think when that's not exploited, which I think a lot of people don't exploit it, I think like there's a lot of very good teachers there,
right,
that are not taking advantage. But I think that we know of right now.
Right. I don't feel personally taken advantage of any of my yoga teachers, but also I'm not like...
Also, I'm like your only yoga teacher. Yeah. That would be really awkward.
Yeah. Emily is my teacher sometimes, but yeah, you are.
I love Emily.
You are my only yoga teacher. And I do feel safe with you. And I do feel like I'm like, no.
But like, I feel like the reason why I feel like I like to do episodes like this is because I think that it's like such a fine line, right? That like of what you're buying into. Like, are we going to like, I think that it starts off with this feeling that something sounds slightly off. And you will start to rationalize it, like, maybe I just don't know enough.
Right. And that's why I'm saying, I'm like, trust your intuition.
Yeah. And I think that, like, trusting your gut is, like, so important.
Yeah.
Because I think that trusting your gut and, like, also, like, listening to people. Like, there's so many people in all of these stories where they've told people and they were like, that's a cult, you should get out of there. Yeah. And they were like, no, you just don't get it.
No, like, literally, if somebody's saying that's a cult, you really should.
Well, even like
fresh eyes go into it and be like, what, you know.
Yeah. Even, oh my God, who was it that I was just looking up? They would make them watch like Nixium and The Vow. And then they would be like, see, I'm not a cult leader. I'm not like that.
Oh my God.
But that's like, I feel like it's like that. I feel like knowing the steps of like these high control groups kind of help us to kind of like suss out maybe what's not right. Mm-hmm. And I feel like true crime things have done really good for us ladies to always feel
yes,
prepared.
Girl, I stay ready.
Yeah.
Honestly, I dare somebody to try to come up to me. I'm never in a dark alley. But if I was, It'd be like, huh, huh, like all the things.
Yeah.
Stab you with my keys. I don't even use, no, because it's a phone now. But you know what I mean.
Oh, no. Maybe you need like brass knuckles, like phone case.
I would be so down for that because then I'd also never lose my phone.
Yeah. But it
I
also
always
ripped probably
lose my
holes in your jeans.
I don't put my phone in my
Do you
jeans.
accidentally fall? Oh, you don't?
No, my purse. Purse or I'm not on duty. Like,
Yeah.
that's why, like, people will text me, you will text me, and I'm, like, not responding because
Yeah.
I like being away from my phone sometimes. But if I'm in a dark alley, you know I have my phone ready.
Yeah. I feel like it does such a good job at like
And
opening people's eyes.
I close
you know?
every window. Shout out Morbid.
Oh,
Fresh
yeah,
airs for dead people.
Yeah, no, but I feel that like true crime has been good in that sense that
Yeah.
it lets you think, what would I do? And I feel like in this particular instance, I feel like things like this are good to like kind of reflect on and be like, okay, this is something that maybe doesn't resonate with me. And you know what? I heard on a podcast that it was like,
This
maybe
is
not right.
This is sounding very much like that podcast.
Mm-hmm.
This is red flaggy. This is alert, alert.
There are, though, some good things, like some good, I don't want to say cults, some good intentional communities out there. I'll find one.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. Yeah, I'd like that. Also, this is the thing. I feel like I've never met a yoga teacher who would say, don't listen to your instincts.
Yeah.
Or don't listen to your body. Or like you guys are always like, do the like list, be in tune with yourself, do what feels right. And honor the differences in each side because you can feel even that slight difference. Like, do what feels right. Listen to your body, listen to your soul, listen to your heart, listen to your gut, listen to your, like, all the things.
Yeah.
And you should be good. Like, anybody who's telling you to ignore that little voice is
not in it for you.
Rama wrong.
Rama wrong.
Rama wrong.
Ooh, what should we call this one? The Toner Bandit is spiritually fucked?
Rama wrong makes right.
Oh.
I wrote that down a long time ago. I just really like Rama wrong. And
Rama
I was like,
wrong
ooh,
is good.
I like Rama wrong.
Yeah.
Or yeah, we got to honor that Toner Bandit.
The fucking
Toner Bandit.
I actually wanted to do a whole episode about the Toner Bandit, but there just wasn't enough information.
There wasn't enough juice on him.
There wasn't enough juice. There are some other things we might circle back to more 3HO Toner Bandit-y kind of thing.
Yeah, because I feel like there's still a lot of meat on that bone.
There is a lot of meat on that bone.
Yeah, and we can go back.
That honestly should have been 2 episodes.
Yeah.
This whole session should have been 4.
Should have been,
it's
yeah.
probably gonna be 2.
Yeah.
It should have been 4. Sorry, everyone. These are long.
I mean, all roads lead back to. I mean, we're finding Osho.
All roads lead back to Osho.
All roads.
That motherfucker.
But yeah, I don't know. Rama wrong or
I think that's good.
Rama wrong makes right. Sure.
We'll do it.
Go with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for listening.
Follow us on Instagram at
Spiritually Effed Podcasts.
and rate and review us.
Thank you. Bye.